Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports. When
it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Didn't really love the ending. Hated it. I hated a couple things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hated losing.
Yeah.
Hated missing free throws.
Yeah.
Hated a certain call.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I hated it a lot.
But, is there a but that?
No, there's no but. I hated it. Like, I'm not big on like, but hey, we played hard.
Yeah,
that's
moral
what
victories.
You're supposed to do.
Yeah. Look, I didn't think A&M would win last night. I thought Tennessee was just too big.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't the case. A&M could have won that game. Probably.
They were too big, but they still could have won, right? Should have won.
Well, I mean, if you make free throws,
you win.
You win.
Yeah.
And here's the sad part about it. Look, I understand why Bucky McMillan felt great about his team's effort and the fight and all that. And that it is. And it says if you can go to Knoxville and play like that, then you got a chance, just realistic chance to beat almost everybody on your schedule.
Right.
So there's that. But when the NCAA selection committee gathers, they're only going to see a loss.
Right. Look, you know what if we want to have a Nuñoism here, it is, but it isn't. I didn't feel good about the loss or anything. But watching that team play now, 4 SEC games, I'm like, they are, regardless of what happens the rest of the way, they are better than I thought they would be.
Yes, I'll give you that.
When they play they played Tennessee better than I thought they would play Tennessee.
And I
they
thought
were a better team.
I thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
I did. When they got down in the final minute and guys who are good shooters at the free throw line, I thought, okay, I'll be dang, they're going to pull this off. And
that freshman though, he got hot at the end, didn't he?
Yeah. Look.
Amen.
I always said this. Here's other than not coming up, not converting at the free throw line when it mattered most. A&M had a chance, but Tennessee had about 20 second chances.
Yeah, they did.
Maybe it's 25.
That was the difference.
The second chance baskets were how many offensive rebounds did Tennessee get? They got 24 offensive rebounds and second chance points, 22. A&M had 5 second chance points. So, but that's what I expected.
Yep.
I expected Tennessee to dominate the boards because they're one of the best rebounding teams in the country, and A&M is just not a physically big team. So I expected that. What I didn't expect was for A&M to be in a position to win the game in the final minute and then not be able to make the clutch plays. Because this is a team that has been making the clutch plays at crunch time.
Well, these games have come down to the wire, all of them, right?
Yeah,
they've come down. And one, you get the benefit of the right call, and the other one, you don't.
Oh, gosh. I was just beside myself. I know you're talking about the out-of-bounds call with 10 seconds to go, and they call it out on A&M. This is not a homerific thing. You know, watch it yourself. Go on YouTube or whatever. Watch it yourself. And there's no way that ball can be out on, was it Rylan Griffin?
I believe that's
I think
correct.
Rylan Griffin has the ball. You know, if you didn't see it, you're crazy. I can't believe. But Tennessee had missed a free throw. And there's 10 seconds left. And they're scurrying for the basketball. It's on the ground. And Rylan Griffin has his hands on the ball. So he looks like he's going to get it. And a guy comes from Tennessee. I can't remember who is number 0. I think Gillespie.
Okay.
I think it was Gillespie. I might be wrong on that. He comes in and literally pushes the ball, almost punches it out of Griffin's hands, out of bounds, and they look at it. The physics, the laws of physics would tell you that the ball is out on Tennessee, but they somehow
even reviewed it and got it wrong.
And here's I really like Damian Fishback.
Yeah,
the guy who's calling the analyst for the SEC network and all, and he was saying but before he says this is going to be overturned. This is going to be overturned, and then when they don't overturn it, he goes, well, I guess he didn't see something. No, why won't people ever hold officials accountable? Why don't you just go out and say, that's a terrible call. What are they doing? No wonder why no one trusts officials. No wonder why won't the SEC ever acknowledge that they have a major officiating problem, that this buffoon in stripes can't see something so obvious?
Yeah, I bet you Andrew Monaco and Dr. John Thornton probably talked about that a little bit on their broadcast, but no.
I know I would. I'd have been losing my mind. How can you get to that point of officiating and not? I get it if you miss it in live action.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it in slow motion, the law, it's in his hands, and all of a sudden, boom, it's out. It has to be, and you can say, oh yeah, but even though he punched it out, I can't guarantee that the last person to touch the ball wasn't. He punched the ball out.
You see it physically.
But you know what? Doesn't guarantee the score was tied. Doesn't guarantee A&M would have made a shot, but at least they would have had the fair opportunity.
Yeah, that. And here's the other thing: you got to hit your free throws at the end.
Yeah.
And if you're going to miss them, do what Tennessee did when they missed them.
Go get them.
Get the offensive glass.
Once again, Tennessee's a much bigger team.
Yeah. Is it 4 of 8 free throws they missed down the stretch?
That's the way I counted. In the last 3-13, 4 of 8. It started when A&M had a 1-point lead, and Pop Isaacs, who's one of your better shooters, got fouled from behind the arc. So he gets 3 free throws, and he makes 1. I mean, I'm not trying to vilify Pop. He played really well. He had 16 points. But no matter who's there, you got to rise to the occasion.
You do. But again, going back to my original comment, watching this team play, they're better than I thought. And the Tennessee game, we did a segment on this show, I think yesterday, where we're like, if they win this game, what? Right?
Yeah.
They didn't win the game, but I still feel like not the same feeling I would have had they won, because I was upset. I went to bed angry. But I was like, you know what? This team they're going to turn every game into a rock fight. They're going to win some games that I'm not expecting. There's going to be a couple on their schedule that, like Tennessee, that's what hurts about yesterday, because you kind of had it.
Yeah. They've already won one that you probably wasn't supposed to win, was at Auburn.
Yep.
But if you could have gotten that one at Tennessee, like I said, I would have been the guy to say, okay, I'm expecting them to get into the NCAA tournament. They're going to have to knock off some guys, some teams that they're not expected to win.
Don't let one loss become 2.
Yeah, because you got to make sure. I'm glad if you had to lose like that. I'm glad it was on Tuesday.
Yeah,
gives you an extra day to
work on stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, this is TexAgs Live. You knew that, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. In fact, I even know that TexAgs Live is brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Yeah, I appreciate David and Julie and the whole team. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Yeah.
This hour has a label on it. We give it a name. We call it
the Go Hour.
Presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. And what else do we have to tell? We're over there.
Over there in the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. I always say the Holistic Planning Cool Zone travels.
It's an aura, right?
Yeah.
It's an aura. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it how many ways?
Oh, you do it a couple ways.
Tell them.
All right. First of all, you can call us for Texas on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending hotline. I started putting bartending first.
Yeah.
And that number is 979-693-1150, which coincidentally also happens to be a number of another way to
that is the Catalyst Pure Performance Hotline.
Where you can get pure performance energy.
Yeah, PPE. That's right. Let's do that. Let's go around the room, left to right, to say hi to the people. Behind the glass is our director, Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, buddy.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
How are you?
I'm great. One part of that game that I go back to that I was like, dang, it was right there, outside of the missed free throws, is, I don't know if y'all remember, first overtime period, 34 seconds left. Ruben Dominguez gets a really good look, and when he let it go, I was like, that's game. We won. But he was off the mark just a bit. And, I was like, dang, that probably was the best look that we were going to get the remainder of that overtime period. Thankfully, they got another overtime period, but they couldn't convert. But that was a big miss. But out of the hand, I thought it was good. And
then they were leading with 3.5 minutes into the second overtime.
Yep.
After Pop hit a three-pointer and did not make another basket.
No, offense was not there in the overtimes. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Alex Schoonover, his last day on the gig.
Last day.
Quitting on us.
Schoon, it's over.
Schoon, you've done a great job, buddy. I appreciate all the hard work.
So,
what do you have for us over there?
So after every single A&M basketball, baseball, football, I tend to get on Twitter. And I was going through everything last night. And your boy, Aaron Torres, tweets.
AT?
Yeah, he tweeted. He said, Texas A&M is way ahead of schedule in year one under Bucky McMillan. Legit SEC title contender in 2026. I kind of like that.
A legit title contender in 2026.
So this year.
Yeah, SEC. So
this year.
This year.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
I'm not either. I'm not either. But
did he tweet that during the game or after the game?
After the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So
I hope so.
That'd be great.
I'd love to see him get into the NCAA tournament and do what the guy in Maryland couldn't do and get him
to the Sweet 16
second weekend.
He hasn't won a single conference game.
I know. And did they lose last night to USC?
I think they did. Yeah,
I hope they did.
Fast.
Not that I hold grudges.
A little bit,
but I do.
Yeah. 71-88.
They only lost by 17. They're getting better.
Schoon, I walked in and I heard some nonsense being discussed in the studio. You and OB, what was the conversation about?
It was about my national championship for Miami. If they win,
you'll feel better
about A&M. Yeah, I will.
How do you feel about that, OB? He's saying
that's my question. Is if I don't even have to say if Miami wins it, the fact that they're in the national championship game, how does that make you feel about the A&M team that you supported this last year? Because now some were calling them a fraud because they lost at Miami.
If they win, how are we frauds? We lost to the national championship team.
You don't have to debate it with me. I'm just telling you that some said that, and the people that said that aren't here. But I'm with you. But some were saying that if Miami wins the national championship, does that make you feel better? And that you're saying, hey, you know what? I mean, it didn't end the way we wanted to, but it just showed that we were in legitimate national championship contenders because we had a chance to could have beaten the team that won the national championship. Or do you look at it and go, expletive, again, that close, and look what we could have done, and we didn't, and it just makes me even sicker. So which is your reaction?
I don't look for reasons to feel better after my team loses. I let that SH marinate, right? Don't get me wrong. There'll be a little part of me that's like, okay, you lost to the national champion. This is what I'll be thinking about. What happened to the offense the last part of the season?
True.
That's what I'll be thinking about. I'll be thinking about it didn't matter. All these playoff teams, if you're not scoring, because they didn't score much between Texas and Miami.
No.
If you're not scoring against good defenses, I'm not going to feel better. Had that loss been, 31-30, and Marcel throws an interception at the game, I might feel better.
Yeah.
I might. But they didn't score.
No.
You're tied 3-3 with 2 minutes to go. And they were backed up inside their own 20. At home, they're backed up inside their own 20. And then, they get the big run, they score. And then, of course, as we all know, A&M comes right back. And you're like, where was that all game? Until they got to the 5-yard line.
Right.
And you're like, this team, if Miami could do it, we could have done it. No. Does that make you feel better? Or does it make you feel worse?
Yeah, it's whatever.
Like when it's over,
a tad bit better. Like, okay, cool, we lost to the champion.
I put it this way: when the game's over, if Miami wins, are you gonna have that drink and say, you know what, to the Aggies, it could have been, or you're going to drink even more and drink yourself into a stupor because you're saying, you know, are you going to be a happy drunk or an angry drunk?
I'll have a little bit more coffee. I would say the fact that the season, the end of 24 and 25 felt a bit similar, right? Kyle Field losses, and I know there was the bowl game, but and not offensively, that's what I think about what happened last. And I'll feel a tad bit better, sure, that Miami won the championship. Oh, you lost it. But I think I focused more on what A&M's problems were, not what Miami's successes are.
Angry drunk. Angry drunk.
Yeah, true. But let's be honest. That's obvious. You think with my temper, if I had alcohol, it'd be a happy drunk?
That'd be scary.
Well, it would depend
Come on, man. Let's go.
On the situation. You know, had A&M won the championship, I think you would have been a happy drunk.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably pick some fights, too.
I would be walking around with a lampshade on my head.
That's what you do on Thursdays.
I know. In fact, if we have a lampshade tomorrow, I'll have to put it on.
Schoon, what else do you have for us?
Dying laughing. Back to basketball. I was really proud, as we lost and was kind of sad and everything, but I was really proud of the defense forced 19 turnovers and SEC's kind of season high with 10 combined steals. Most steals we've had in an SEC game coming against Tennessee. It's just really good to see. They're out there playing hard and hopefully it, keeps up.
Yeah, they're always going to play hard. I guarantee you that. I mean, they will play hard and give you everything they've got. And everything they've got is just frustrating that a team, you can't be perfect, but a team that had been so good in the clutch, quite frankly, just wasn't last night.
Mm-hmm. OB, when we come back on TexAgs Live, let's go through the new quarterback, or just quarterbacks in the SEC. Let's just try to figure it out. Yeah. I'm not going to test you.
Good.
Brody loves asking questions when I'm not thinking about stuff. I'm not going to do that to you. He'll be like, who's the quarterback of the 1986 whatevers? I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to tell you some of the names that are likely the quarterbacks.
Like Sam Levitt?
No.
Like Sam Levitt? No. Why no?
I'm not a fan.
A fan of him going there or a fan of him?
Just overall. Well, I'm not a fan because now all my LSU buddies think they're winning the national championship next year.
They thought that last year.
Yeah. But it's just, he knows.
I'm still wondering who's going to block for him.
Yeah. Got a good coach, though.
Yeah.
They got. Yeah.
All right, we'll hit a break. OB, when I'm happy, I go to 1775.
Yeah.
When I'm sad, I go to 1775. When I'm indifferent, I go to 1775.
I'm never indifferent when it comes to 1775.
I'm just saying, like, life.
Life, you're indifferent.
Basketball.
1775 will give you a new outlook on life because you may be thinking, you may be sad, you may be indifferent, and you end up at 1775, just a couple of miles past the airport on the left, on the way to Snook. If you're, you got to be kind of looking for it, but then it'll jump out at you like a rainbow of barbecue. And instead of colors, it's succulent brisket and jalapeno cheese sausage and that turkey for guys like.
But what about the pot?
The what?
The treasure. What are they?
I don't know if they have that at 1775.
They have a treasure in a little cup.
I think there may be some places on the way to 1775 where you might be able. But to your point, and then they also have the ribs. And then there's that pot of gold.
There we go.
That golden macaroni and cheese, that queso mac and cheese. So you could eat that and say, the world's a great place if you can, as long as 1775 barbecue is in it.
Yeah.
As long as there's 1775, nothing could be too bad.
Let's call them up right now on the show. 979-492.
They're not open.
No, sorry. 6241. Or type it up on your browser, 1775.
They don't need suicide hotline. They just have 1775. And today we're serving succulent brisket. Yeah, I'm in.
1775 TX, bbq.com. It's very good, isn't it?
It's good. It's great.
Yeah. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. All right, OB, let's talk about quarterbacks in the SEC. That kind of rhymed, all right? So I just did a search just to see, because some of this, who knows who'll win the starting job, right? But front runners as of today, okay? We got a lot of different quarterbacks in the SEC. At
we do.
Auburn. Byron Brown.
From South Florida.
That's correct. 13 quarterbacks in FBS history have registered 3,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards in the same season. Brown is one of them. He finished 25.
Well, yeah, but he didn't do it in the SEC.
No, he did not. I'm just reading you a little bit about what I found on him. But he's reunited with his coach.
Yeah.
So
you see a lot of that.
Florida. Apparently, the front runner is a gentleman by the name of Aaron Philo, who played at Georgia Tech.
He was on the team at Georgia Tech?
Yeah, new offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner recruited Philo to join him in Gainesville. So Aaron Philo. And Schoonover's double-checking some of my work on this. Is that who you see? Kentucky picks up a name you've heard of before.
All right.
Kenny Minchie.
Kenny Minchie. Wasn't he at Notre Dame?
He was at Notre Dame. He'll be now with Will Stein.
Okay.
So.
Okay, at least I've heard of this one.
LSU.
Sam Levitt.
And apparently Landon Clark is the backup.
From Elon.
Yeah.
The Elon Phoenix. Used to be, you know what their mascot was, Elon, before they changed to the Phoenix?
The Hens.
They were the Hens. Why Hens? They were the Fighting Christians.
Oh, we do fight.
Yeah.
Farmers fight.
But said, no, I guess that was no longer politically correct. So they went, for some reason, they went to the Phoenix.
Okay.
I don't know if they're fighting or not. Fighting Phoenix.
Missouri. You want to guess?
Yeah, they're going with the Zollers. They're not going with Zollers?
Austin Simmons.
Okay.
But I mean, Zollers could win the job, right? I don't think he transferred.
Didn't Eli say something like, tweet out the Matthew Zollers, however he says it, era starts today. Remember that?
Maybe.
He had that tweet.
Well, maybe Austin Simmons is going to go there to be the backup.
No. You don't go anywhere to be the backup if you can avoid it.
Ole Miss, so no more Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah.
You might remember the name.
Not so fast.
Deuce Knight.
Yeah, from Auburn.
From Auburn, yeah.
But don't just dismiss
By the
Chambliss
way,
yet.
Are we allowed to run stuff from another show? Nick, I may send it to you at the break. Did you hear Cole Kubelik talking about Deuce Knight and about Cam Coleman?
No.
There's a 45-second monologue. It's fantastic.
I'm sure it is.
So all those woe is me, I even for A&M, I think we should try to find that, Nick, and if we're allowed to play a little bit of it or the whole little chunk, I think it's fantastic.
I'm sure Cole would love that.
Yeah, it's really good. Alabama.
That kid that came in. Yeah.
Oh, they have Austin Mack there as well.
Okay.
Vanderbilt.
I have no idea. I know they got a 5-star recruit from.
That's who I think
they're a freshman.
Curtis, yeah.
That was committed to Georgia and he flipped to Vandy.
Jared Curtis. I don't know if he's expected to be the starter, but he's the big wig on campus.
He'll start at some point next year.
Arkansas.
Our Kansas.
A.J. Hill.
A.J. Hill.
The Memphis backup quarterback.
One of the Memphis backups.
One of them.
Because the other one was a kid named Maiden. Brandon Maiden? Braden Maiden
from the area, right?
From College Station High.
Right.
Okay, A.J. Hill. Nobody cares about this, but when I think A.J. Hill, there's some high school up in North Texas that when I was covering high schools for the Statesman, kid got fouled in the state championship game. I think they were down 2, and he got fouled trying to shoot a 3, so he had to make three free throws with no time on the clock.
He made them all.
He did. A.J. Hill. So hopefully this A.J. Hill, when they play A&M, is not nearly as
three
clutch
straight throws at the end.
as that A.J. Hill.
And I'm going to give you now returning starters that we expect.
Okay.
At Texas A&M, Marcel Reed.
Marcel Reed.
Lenore Sellers back in South Carolina. Again, on our calendar again, right? Like
he avoided the temptation to go to Miami.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's still a day or two. No, I think he signed
I'm sure he got paid very well to stay.
Arch Manning at Texas.
Arch Manning.
And Georgia quarterback Gunnar Stockton. Am I missing any quarterbacks? I feel like I had them all. I might be missing one, but I think I had them all.
I think this was one.
So it's just 4 guys, 4 returning starters.
That, as of right now, that's what it looks like. Unless
John Mateer.
Oh yeah, I don't have Oklahoma on here. What's Oklahoma? Is it Mateer coming back?
Yeah, John Mateer.
Yep. There you go.
I guess that's it.
And they're also on A&M schedule. So A&M schedule has got a returning starter in Arch, a returning starter in Lenoris, and John Mateer.
I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular here, but or maybe it will be. I think Aggies are smart enough to just look at things and state the obvious. Remember all that ridiculous premature Heisman hype for Arch last year that set him up for failure? He's going to get the same hype, and at least this time it's going to be
a little more
deserved. It's going to be legitimate. Yeah.
It's funny. Yesterday we were talking about quarterback.
Marcel could be right in there if he can cut down on the
turnovers.
Interceptions. Yeah.
We were talking on the show about quarterback, wide receiver combos that are the best in college football, and I forget how it came up, but Arch was one of the names that came up with Cam Coleman. And I didn't think about some of the other ones. I brought up Marcel, but Billy texted me like, "You idiot!" Like, what about Ohio State?
Yeah, those are Saying who was a Heisman Trophy finalist, and
Jeremiah Smith,
who's probably the best player in college football.
Right. There's. You do have the call. Okay.
A minute of it. The first minute.
It's okay. It's about a minute long. I thought this was just awesome radio. So congrats to Cole. Here's Cole on Auburn fans upset about some of the guys they lost.
The obsession with attempting to build a team on 2 individuals that have had limited time proving themselves and have shown some clown tendencies in doing so is beyond irresponsible, is beyond ignorant, and is just flat out flawed. But then you go out and you wear pink ski masks to be different from everybody else on the team. That's the guy that's going to take the reins and pull the program? We're going to sit around and cry about a guy that's got less than 100 catches in 2 years. We're going to sit around and cry about a guy that's played in 1 game. You got to stop. You got to stop. No player cripples a program when they leave. Not a single one. Not to the draft, not to the portal, not to Enterprise Rent-A-Car to start a career. None of them cripple a program when they leave.
Is that show brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car?
It might be.
There's more to it, too, but I just figure I'd pull a minute.
So maybe pull the other minute for later, because I think he gets kind of passionate at one point, like kind of loud. It was
so Cam Coleman wore a pink ski
I don't know
mask?
if he's talking about Cam or Deuce Knight in that particular part, because I don't remember. I Googled Cam Coleman pink ski mask. I don't know.
Because then he went right after he went to the receptions, less than 100 receptions. So
he also talked about, tell me a game, and you'll hear it maybe we'll do it in the next segment, a game that Cam Coleman won. Well, there was a couple years ago against A&M, and I'm not bringing that up as a slam at Cam Coleman. I don't know the kid. He might be the salt of the earth. I don't know. But I think his point for any program is that one guy's not going to kill you guys. Like, it's got to be a team concept. Just look at Indiana.
Well, that's true. That is true. Sometimes, though, you lose a player and you're just not the same for a while. Tim Tebow at Florida, for instance.
Right.
Johnny Manziel here. I don't know that Cam Coleman's that guy. I don't know but when Larry Fitzgerald left Pitt, I don't think they were the same for a while. But that said, Cam Coleman may not be that guy. But once again, let's not be disingenuous. We wanted him here.
1,000%.
So,
right? I don't know any of the background, if he's a good teammate or not.
Now, I hope he's a terrible teammate at Texas. I hope he wears this pink mask all the time, which, by the way, would make him real popular over in Austin. But I hope he's a bust.
Yeah.
Not because I have anything against him personally.
He just plays for your rival.
He plays for the wrong guy.
Yeah. We'll hear the second part on the next side, because I thought it was really good. We'll hit a break here, And look, it's not, for me, the way I hear that, it's not about Cam going to Texas. It's just about
the reaction that, the sky's falling among Auburn fans.
A&M's had
it might be falling, though.
But from an A&M perspective, we've had a great portal run. Texas A&M has had a really good portal run. So just enjoy what you have. As Bronny and Billy said on Luchador, it's about what you have, not what you didn't get.
I agree with that.
So we'll hit a break. Right now, if you're looking for a reason to move back to Aggieland, or you are already in Aggieland and need an opportunity, maybe a new career, maybe you're just trying to start things off in this community, check out the Association of Former Students. They sometimes have openings in several different departments, from fundraising to sales to communications, you name it. They are a fantastic organization to work for. They are the premier alumni association and the oldest organization supporting Texas A&M, a part of that Aggie network. They play a part in every Aggie story from Howdy to Here. Don't miss opportunities to help out the association with their marquee events like Howdy Socials, Aggie Ring Day, class reunions, Aggie Muster, and everything in between. Join a team that exemplifies those Aggie core values of excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, and selfless service, all in support of that worldwide Aggie network. If you or someone you know might be a good fit, what you should do is send them the website, tx.ag/association jobs, to apply and get more information on each position. It is the Association of Former Students. We're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is still the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. And the Holistic Cleaning Cool Zone's over there. Can I, before we continue with the Cole Kubelik soundbite, which I thought was great, do you know who's on the show today? Do you care?
Well, I am right now.
Well, yeah, but you're a
soccer
co-host.
Coach is coming on.
That's right. Bobby Shuttleworth. He'll be here at 10:35.
10:35.
You might talk to him a little bit too, right?
I intend to.
Yep. Jason Howell.
The newlywed Jason Howell.
The newlywed Jason Howell. We'll talk to him about that. Thomas Schuberth.
All right.
Coach Tom.
Okay. Maybe he has some inside info on a couple of games that you might want to get some action on.
Yeah. Patricio Henry.
Who?
Patricio Henry.
Oh, Patrick Henry.
Pat Henry. National champion head coach, Pat Henry. And Juan Harris. John Harris.
John Harris. Yeah, I figured that one out.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. So let's go back to the Cole Kubelik rant, because I thought it was excellent radio. Like, it was really good. Here he goes on a little bit more on those that are upset about Auburn losing Deuce Knight and Cam Coleman.
And if your mindset is that is a loser brain. That is a loser take. That is a loser mindset to think, oh, he's leaving. We can't win. You can't think that way. And this obsession with these two guys that they've propped up any portion of the program. What games did Auburn win because of two said players?
Mercer.
Congratulations.
Just saying.
What FBS games did Auburn win because of the two said players? Vanderbilt, when Cam Coleman went off with all the one-handed catches? Give me 20 Jeremy Bernards before one Cam Coleman. Sorry, I know that hurts people's feelings. I know I'm probably really mean for saying that. You know what? I'll go use another Auburn example. Give me 1,000 Courtney Taylors before one Cam Coleman. Hell, I'll take Duke Williams before I'll take him.
Whoa.
I'd do to stab you in the throat to catch a football. I don't care. I want him on my team.
First off, Cam Coleman beat a big reason that A&M got beat by Auburn on the road in overtime a couple years back. 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah, when A&M couldn't cover anybody.
Yeah, that was part of it. But he was huge in that game. I would take a Cam Coleman level player. I know nothing about him as a person. He might be mean. He might be.
I wanted him pink mask.
I wanted him here, right? But I want people who fit what Coach Elko's trying to build. I'm not saying they wanted him, so he probably would have fit. But his point about certain players that you want 1,000 of them, I don't think you can win a championship roster with a bunch of nice ultra boys. You need some players, right? Especially in the SEC, you need some players. In a perfect world, you have both.
To Cole's point, I think Auburn's won in the last 2 seasons with Cam Coleman, won 9 games in 2 seasons, not 1 season, in 2 seasons. So why are you thinking one guy's going to, what are you afraid you're only going to win 3 games next year?
Yeah, but part of that,
Peyton
Thorne and Jackson Arnold.
No, but he's saying if Cam Coleman is that great that you're going to just, you have all this weeping and gnashing of teeth for losing him, it's not, what are you losing? It's not like you had this player that was carrying you to championships.
Yeah.
He was carrying you to 5-win seasons. That's not a knock on Cam Coleman. That's a knock on Auburn fans for not, recognizing, hey, I can't believe we lost this guy. Our program is in shambles. Yeah. Your program is in shambles with him.
With him, yeah.
It's not one guy, like you said, and I agree with that.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was a good rant that I think we can all kind of think about our teams when people leave, when you don't get the guy that you really wanted. It is more than a guy, right? Especially you have something on your face. When you start doing that thing with your quivering lip, I'm like, he's got something. He's got an OBism.
No, I don't.
Okay. Anyway, I like what they're building across the street, and I don't know enough about these players, but I do know enough about the guy who's picking them. So I think that's why I'm excited. And everything I've read about their SEC experience, their ability to get hot. There's not a lot of projects that they picked up.
Okay. Good, solid players. Like Isaiah Horton.
Yeah.
And I think what Cole was trying to say is, and he mentioned the other guy from Alabama, Bernard, I think that's who he was talking about.
Yeah.
But I think he's saying I'd rather have players like Isaiah Horton, even though he didn't say Isaiah Horton, that are just, more, I don't know. It seems like he meant, competitive and like Nuño-ish, kind of a psycho competitor.
Yeah.
Even when it doesn't.
You want to go hoop later?
You don't want that.
You know who I would not?
I am 64 years old, and he's gonna. Oh, look, and I can't run, but I beat you.
No. Hey, you know one person I wouldn't mess with. This guy right over here.
Scoon.
Scoon can do like a flying back kick, like the guy. What were you, kung fu? What are you, kung fu? Yeah, like legit. There might be video evidence of how good he is. By the way,
if y'all got together, we would be.
He would destroy me.
His record is 1-0. Let's just say that.
Everybody would be kung fu fighting.
Yeah.
That Scoon is fast as lightning. His face is a little bit frightening.
This is true. I have a feeling we may hear that song on the other side. Let's hit a break. We'll come back, finish out with some Aggie basketball, and get some thoughts from the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Right now, we are talking Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces, and they have a mission to build a healthy community around nature. This is where I bring OB into the conversation. OB, I asked you this the other day, but I want to get a little different spin. So you've done yoga before?
Yes, I have.
When's the last time you did yoga?
Oh, probably. I still live in Tennessee, so probably 15 years ago.
Okay. Do you still think you have flexibility?
Oh, no, I don't have. In fact, I should take up yoga again.
Well, they do evening yoga in Milliken Reserve.
Really?
So, like, kind of as you're trying to recover from the day, you get some flexibility back and go to Milliken Reserve and do the evening yoga.
Okay.
Kayaking, I don't know if you want to do that at night, but maybe on the weekends.
Kayaking's fun. I'd do that anytime.
Hiking?
Hiking, probably not at night, but yeah.
Boots or tennis shoes? Kind of hiker?
Depends on the terrain I'm going to be hiking.
Okay. What about, let's see, biking?
Yeah, I like riding
Dirt bike or like road bike?
Either.
Okay. You're equal opportunist. You like farmer markets? Like to pick your veggies?
Yeah, if they're good vegetables.
Well, they're really good.
I don't really like vegetables that much, but there's some.
Well, you can get all that at Milliken Reserve. You can buy a house there,
any
too.
fruit in there, too?
Yeah, they got it all.
Okay.
I don't know. I just made that part up. But they got a lot there at Milliken Reserve. Go check it out. You're going to love it. You can buy a house there as well. MillikenReserve.com, that website. Again, MillikenReserve.com. And we are back. Do the Kung Fu fighting dance.
You know who sings that?
David Lee Roth.
Carl Douglas.
Good old Carl. Who's Carl Douglas?
The guy who sings Kung Fu Fighting.
Okay. Not familiar with his. I'm familiar with the song, not his work.
I'm waiting to. I want to see Schoonover.
Scoot, could you do a kick in the studio, or would you like pull a hamstring?
I'll probably pull a hamstring.
All right,
I want to see you fight little Sammy Chong.
I'm not flexible anymore. Like right now.
I thought I saw you do one once before.
I kind of showed you, but not fully.
Okay.
Little Sammy Chong.
Gotta get flexible.
Reference in the song.
Are you at all interested in this movie that's coming out by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck? Have you seen the commercials for it? They play two cops.
I haven't, and I'm
the
not.
Rip. Yeah, it looks terrible to me. I'll probably watch it, but it looks terrible.
I'm not a Ben Affleck fan at all.
Okay.
Matt Damon seems okay. Martian was a good show, but
Martian, yeah, that was a good movie.
Martian,
yeah, that was good.
Good Will Hunting, but I don't go see movies very much.
Is it the Odyssey that he's going to be in? That looks really good.
Huh.
I think it's Matt Damon who's in that.
Irma asked me to go see a movie last weekend, and the one with Jack Black in it. I said, no, I don't like his politics. I'm not going to give him any money.
Jack Black's in a movie again?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm out. Anyway, let's hear from Bucky McMillan last night about that game against Tennessee. I think we're on the same page, OB, that there's a lot to take away good from that game, but I don't like moral victories. There's some good
moral victories.
But there's some good to take away, for sure. Got to win that game.
I applaud the effort and the fight and the way they represent themselves.
Right.
Great. And you had a chance to win, but you didn't. But no moral victories.
Here's Bucky last night.
Basketball's so funny is if, maybe we'll make another free throw or Ruben makes that three, we walking out of here feeling different, but it's right there is the same kind of thing, right? And so you just can't get so results oriented. We're heading in the right direction. That's the biggest thing. We're heading in the right direction. And just got to keep trucking along, right? It's a game where a play here, a free throw there, a shot here, a shot there could have left us with a greater feeling getting on that plane, right? But, when we're down there at Auburn, if they made the last three, we'd be feeling different about that one too, right? So the only thing you can focus on is, keep battling, keep getting better every day, and we certainly have done that.
They are a better team. They are. Than they were 2 weeks ago, a month ago.
Again, much better than I thought they would be. And, keep in mind that they lost one of their better players to injury too.
Yeah.
And normally I might push back on him when he says not results oriented. I'm like, everything about sports is results oriented. But he's got a process of building his program the way he wants it to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes the process is more important than the result.
The team will be graded by results, but as a coach, you wanted them to follow the same process. It's kind of like that soundbite we played from Signetti the other day, which was like, we do things the same way no matter what the situation is. At the end of games, at practice, we practice one way. We have a process to the way we do things, and I think that's basically what Bucky's saying.
Yeah, I understand. Like I said, normally I'd push back and say, hey, sports are absolutely results oriented. But when you're putting in a program and trying to build something, then making the progress can be more important than the result of one individual game.
By the way, Figurine Champ on the YouTube page, he's your biggest fan. I don't know if you know that.
Okay, thank you.
He says, Olin, there's no way you are 64. You don't look a day older than 46.
Man, can you imagine how young I looked when I was 46 then?
52?
Probably. Thank you.
Thank you, OB.
But I'm 64.
You look good.
Clean living.
Clean living, baby. All right, thanks, OB. When we come back here on TexAgs Live, John Harris, the Texans with a nice win, Christian Kirk with a nice game. We'll talk all about it and more. It's TexAgs. We are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program. Talk a little NFL, a little college football with our dear friend John Harris, Houston Texans sideline reporter, footballtakeover.com founder on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Mr. Harris, how are you, sir?
Doing all right, David. A little weary, a little fatigued. Season gets very, very long, and hopefully it will be about another 3 or 4 weeks longer.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's start off with the Texans and just take me through that amazing performance, especially that fourth quarter. We'll get into Christian Kirk because, I mean, he was obviously the headliner, but just the overall experience for the Texans taking care of business.
Yeah, very difficult to talk about that game without talking about CK. But, it's interesting because it kind of reminded me of the Bills game in a sense that, the Bills came out on the first drive of the game and they went right down the field and they actually scored on a James Cook run. They split a seam on the right side on 3rd and 1. They got away with a bad holding, but they didn't, got away with it and went up 7-0. And all of a sudden you thought, oh God, this defense, maybe the Bills did come here ready for business because the year before they got absolutely punished. So they went to the sideline, came back out, and they gave up 2 field goals the rest of the game to the Bills. I mean, just completely shut them down for the rest of the game. And sacked Josh Allen 8 times, picked him off twice. Kalen Bullock intercepted him twice, forced a fumble on a 3rd down to Khalil Shakir, and all of a sudden, that game is over, and everybody in the nation is talking about how good this Texans defense is. Well, the Steelers got a couple of good jabs in the first couple of rounds, and then all of a sudden it was like rounds 3 through 12. It was complete domination. And then it got to the fourth quarter, and even before the fourth quarter, and the Texans have done this in a few games, where it's like the drive late in the third quarter kind of bleeds over to the fourth, and that's a key drive. And it obviously started with Christian's catch, and CJ, who had struggled all night hanging on to the ball, hits him. And that's the thing. And there's a lot of talk about, here in Houston about, CJ, the man, is he the guy? I mean, he did not play well, et cetera. And I disagree with that. I think CJ played actually pretty well. He just panicked in a couple of big moments, and that's got to change. And that's kind of unlike him. So I feel like he'll bounce back this week in New England, but he made that throw to CK. We moved down. Kaimi hit a big field goal. Now it's 10-6. And I think just getting up by 4 points in a game in which we had held the Steelers for about 2.5 quarters at that point, they hadn't done anything. I mean, we even fell at 7-6. I think we can win this game at 7-6. The field goal giving us 4 points, it might as well have been 40 because now it was time to unleash. And then the fourth quarter has been our quarter lately. We have finished very, very well in games. And then the avalanche happened. Will Anderson Jr. sack fumble, Sheldon with the touchdown. Then when the offense got the ball, and I think this was the biggest thing, David, that said maybe this team is differently built for this playoff run, and it was how they ran the ball. They had a great series in the first half with Christian's touchdown catch at the end of it, where they ran the ball and just stuffed it right down the Steelers' throat. They went back to that really in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and the Steelers couldn't stop them. And David, I've never seen the Steelers, and I don't want to use the word quit, but there was a lot of, man, they just are relentless on us. I don't know that I want to play the next play. And even on the Woody Marks touchdown run, you could just see Steelers kind of throw a shoulder into Woody. Big guys throw a shoulder into Woody like he'll go down. It'll be fine. And Woody just ran right through it. And to see their bewilderment on their faces was kind of nice. And to see that stadium empty with just nothing but red in the stands as the game, neared to 0 on the clock was really, really cool and a memory I'll have forever.
Johnny, let's talk a little bit about what Christian Kirk can mean the rest of the way if there's a long run, especially considering some of the injury situations.
Yeah, the Nico status is up in the air, and my gut tells me because of the short week that he won't play. The irony is that Nico in both Monday night games that we've had, Seattle and Pittsburgh, he had a concussion in both, and I hate that for him. But for Nico's health, I'd rather him not play. I mean, obviously I want to win the game and I want Nico to play because he's a stud, but I want Nico to be healthy for a long time. So I don't know what'll happen. I know he took his head hit first So we'll see on that. But, the Texans with Christian Kirk this year, and it's interesting because there have been a lot of people, not so much critical, I guess critical at first. Why didn't Nick Caserio go trade for Christian Kirk? Well, Christian got hurt early, and he missed 2-3 games up front. Then he got hurt in the middle of the year, so he missed another few games, and he never could kind of find that rhythm again. And it was at a point where, we really had to throw the ball to win games and coming from behind in a couple games. And Nico stepped up, Dalton Schultz, Higgins, as a rookie, was starting to step up. Jalen Noel was getting some reps. And so they never really kind of found the right use, I guess, of Christian Kirk. But then the other night, the Steelers decided to play man coverage. And Christian is going to roast that all day. And I think I think it was the one in the late third quarter from behind. It was amazing to see it because he makes a little hesitation move on the corner covering him. And it was enough to give him yards of separation. CJ dotted him. And it was like, okay, that's a Christian Kirk that we know can slice teams up. And I go back to the game when he was with the Jaguars playing against us back in 2023. He just ripped us all game. And I was like, man, I wish we had that. Well, in the biggest moment of the season when we needed him, he stepped up big. And we talked to D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caserio about this on our radio shows this week, David. Christian had not had that season. I mean, I think he had like 29 catches all year. I mean, people were predicting, I was, 60 to 65 at a minimum receptions this year. And he can get close to that, like I said, for a myriad of reasons. But when it was nut cutting time, he put together the greatest performance by a pass catcher in Texans playoff history. I mean, think about that. The guy never got down. He never, criticized the coaches. He never was ranting and raving in the locker room like a former Texan this year who got released did. He just went about his job and was praised by both D'Amico and Nick for being the professional that he is. And I just thought it was so cool. I was so happy for him because he deserved it with all he'd been through this year to have that game in such a big spot and really to, I don't want to say shut up the naysayers, but a lot of people that had just said, now we can move on. We've got Jalen Noel. We can move on. Really to kind of put them back into place and go, look, this is what I can do. And I think it's changed the perspective of, hey, we go to New England and they want to blitz and play some man coverage. Well, we got 13 now, and he's going to make some big plays when we need it most.
Talking about John Harris here on TexAgs Live. Johnny, what's the keys to the game in New England? The last time this showed up on my timeline, Johnny, you'll laugh about this. I don't know if you remember. I think it was 2017 when the Texans played in New England. Am I right about that? And
I remember it distinctly. Yep.
Yeah. And I went, I think 4 or 5 days early because I went to some Patriots practices and I asked Belichick, it's on my timeline today. Like I asked Belichick a question and I think it was about Vince Wilfork, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave me that stare down, like, who the hell is this guy in my press conference that I've never seen? And gave me that dirty look. That was a game that I thought Brock Osweiler, if I remember correctly, had a really good first half, and the Texans could have won. I'm giving you revisionist history. What is it going to take for them to break through and win in New England?
It's funny what I remember about that. We were 17 or 18-point dogs in that game. And I remember our defense putting on an absolute show. They were tremendous. And I remember Clowney hit Brady. And it was, I thought he killed him. And so the game was 24-16 and like very beginning of the fourth quarter, we had the ball, but our 10-yard line, but like, hey man, put together a drive and go for 2 and we could tie this thing and shock everybody. And Brock's first throw, he airmailed an open Hopkins, picked off. I think it may have been Patrick Chung. Ran it back. They scored a couple of plays later, and then we were cooked at that point. But I remember putting together one hell of an effort against New England. This is not that New England team. Drake May is very, very good, and he can do things different than Tom Brady, and that's what worries me, is he can get out of the pocket. Brady wasn't going to. If you got back to him, he was going down. But he also beat you with his mind. Drake isn't quite there yet. But then again, we don't we don't do as much disguising and stemming and moving around to give him different pre and post snap pictures. We just get in our stuff and we play it. And so I don't know that he'll be challenged that way. But I said this to somebody, excuse me, I think yesterday. You do what you do well, but when you play against our defense, you have to match our speed and how fast we play. So all of a sudden, you think about the way you do things. Just think about typing on a computer. And then all of a sudden, because you got to be a deadline, you got to rattle keys even faster. Well, invariably, you screw up. And that's what our defense forces on you. You're used to catching a pass, turning and running. Well, all of a sudden, you're going to catch a pass and get hit as soon as you turn. So now you short up your route so you can catch it and run a little bit sooner. You get beat like that. You know, when you get out of your pass protection stance and you've been going against your guys in practice or you've been going against other guys, all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson are on top of me before I can even get ready. And so what this defense forces you to do is to play your game at our speed. And that's very difficult to do. Now, it's a short week. You obviously probably won't have as much juice as we had in Pittsburgh, but hopefully we find it and then put that pressure on them from that perspective. But I think the biggest thing was we never beat New England in New England. You knew that, David, until last year. And then that game last year, it was against Drake May. Look, it's a totally different team. But having the history of beating them, I think will help mentally going up there knowing, hey, we've done this before. But this defense, I'll be honest, they don't care. They could be playing the greatest off. They could be playing the greatest show on turf, LA Rams, and they would show up and try and knock their block off. And that's what's exciting about watching this defense and watching this team. And look, I don't think CJ is going to quote unquote fumble 5 times. I don't think he's going to make those mistakes again. He had really been good protecting the ball. I think people got a little carried away with, that one interception. It was a bad interception. Don't get me wrong. Bad interception. And he hasn't been doing that. But I think he panicked, and I think he was trying to do a little too much. When he settled back in after the interception, he was really good for the rest of the game. So it's just a matter of him continuing to do that on Sunday against the Patriots.
Johnny, I know you know the answer to this because you lived it, but tell the audience what we did pretty much almost every single Texans game that I would travel, either with the Texans or with Channel 13, right before pregame. You remember?
Yeah, we would take a selfie on the sidelines to kind of chronicle, our in essence, our trip in the biz, if you will, how we got to where we got. Like, hey, whatever we did up to this point, whether you with the Mavericks and us with 1560 or whatever we did, wherever we went, it's like for that moment in time with our jobs, we were right there together like family. And so we would take that picture. And that's the way I always thought about it was no matter what with family, you always come back together at some point. You're always together at some point in time, whether it's a reunion, unfortunately, sometimes with funerals, just a vacation, chronicle that time. I mean, I have all those pictures, in my reels, my photo, whatever, my phone, and I always look back and I always see the ones of us wherever we've been. And, I think about that a lot. Like you always move away from people, but you never know when you're going to come back together, especially family members. And obviously, that's the way I look at you. So it was always cool to take those pictures wherever we were like, hey, take a look at us now. Look where we are. This is pretty cool. And in some cases, for some people, it was kind of like a middle finger to some people saying, hey, look where I am now, sucker.
That's the truth. Johnny, speaking of family, I'm in the SEC family, right? A&M's an SEC team. And there's a lot of chatter about the SEC has lost its place. And, if you look at national championships the last few years and right now not having a team in the championship again, where do you see the SEC right now in the just the grand scheme of things, and how do they get back? I guess how is hard to answer, but will they get back? I guess is the question.
Well, I think there's a couple ways to look at this. I think the SEC is still the best conference in college football, and that will bear itself out in late April. Just watch. I mean, when the draft is over and they say, hey, players drafted from this conference, and you look up and it's the SEC has more than anybody else. So it's not a talent issue. I think what it's become is it's maybe a little bit more of a depth issue, that there are players that are choosing to take money and go to some other places. And I think what when Alabama was really going good in the mid 2010s, they'd bring a second defensive line in the game, and you're like, damn, that's just as good as the first defensive line. Well, those guys now are, taking a bag to go to, maybe Oregon or go to Minnesota or go somewhere else where it kind of stretches the talent a little bit more across the country than just staying in the Southeast. But the Southeast will always be a hotbed for high school football talent, and young people like to stay close to home. So for the most part, and so there will always be talent in this conference. Always. It's a matter of, can they build the depth back up that they used to have, that I think because of NIL, because of the transfer portal, has allowed other universities to capitalize. I mean, I think Texas Tech is a great example of that. If David Bailey was going to transfer many years ago, and where would he possibly have gone? Well, he's from California. He was at Stanford. He probably would have stayed home, maybe gone to USC, but all of a sudden Texas Tech offers him a bag he can't refuse. Well, then he goes to Texas Tech. And it's just kind of strange to think about, like, well, okay, but that's kind of what money has done, is kind of balanced that out. And I don't know if it'll ever go back, if it'll be like a rubber band and it'll, eventually stretch back or go back to its original shape. But I do think that's the thing. The talent will always be in the SEC. But I think what made it special was the depth that the best teams in the conference had. Plus, I think in a 12-team playoff, I think winning a national championship is that more random. I mean, if you don't get a bye, you've got to win, 3 games to get to the national championship. There's a 4th game. You got to win 4 games. I mean, that's going to be tough for any team. So I don't know if it becomes at that point more about, conferences, what conferences have. I think it has to do with just how individually teams are built and loaded. I mean, look at Ohio State. They lost a couple games in the Big Ten, but they got in as an at-large and then went on a run because they were the most talented team. And you could argue that there was a lot of money spent at Ohio State too. And they spent it on the right guys. And there you go. But I can see SEC fans go, well, that's Ohio State. I think what SEC fans have a hard time with is Indiana, Oregon, those kind of teams having that kind of success that, well, we're not really used to seeing that. And, well, that guy, he should be playing at Georgia, or that guy should be in the SEC somewhere. We have an Oregon Duck in our roster, Jamal Hill. He's from Georgia and then played his entire career at Oregon. And, it's kind of interesting the way that all this has gone, but I think that's the thing that will have to change back. But I don't know that NIL and a transfer portal will allow that to happen. And so I think teams in the SEC are going to just have to reach into that good old Deep South money and, try and keep guys home, try and get some guys from the Midwest to come back and play football in the SEC because they play football pretty well too. So I think any and all that will bring it back, but I don't really worry about that, to be honest. I just feel like there have been certain teams that have been built like Indiana. Look at how Indiana's built. SEC teams might take a look at that and go, hey, there are a lot of older guys that they've kept together for a while. But in the SEC, to keep a team together, you're going to need more money year over year over year.
Johnny, last thing for you. This championship game, Miami, Indiana, obviously most people are picking Indiana. They've been the most dominant team. How do you think it plays out on Monday?
I think it's close for a while, closer than maybe people will expect for a while. But I think in the end, I think Mendoza makes a play. The receivers for Indiana have stepped up. I mean, that's a really good trio of Becker, Cooper, and Surratt. Plus, the one player that doesn't get a lot of mention is Nowakowski, the tight end for Indiana. And I think he could give Miami some issues. But you guys saw it. I mean, Miami is blunt trauma. They're bringing sledgehammers and hammers to a game, and they're just going to browbeat you, and it's kind of fun to watch. But I think Indiana can withstand that because Indiana has offensive balance, so they can hurt you in the run game. Obviously, Mendoza can hurt you in the passing game. A&M wasn't able to find that balance. Ohio State definitely could not. And Oregon was out of the game for the first throw for the rest of the game. So I think that Indiana and Miami it'll be heavyweight fight in the middle of the ring. But then in the end, I think Indiana starts stretching a lead in the fourth quarter, maybe a field goal here, maybe a turnover adds another field goal. They're up 6 or 7, and then they get one final drive to go up by 14. I got 31-17, Indiana beating Miami.
Johnny, I appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Love you. Talk to you soon.
That's my guy, John Harris, on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with a I Don't Know segment. That's coming up next. When it comes to preserving your farm and your ranch's legacy, it's not about pretty pictures. It's not about Facebook memories. It's not about just talking about your land. It's about really transferring those values that you built your operation on to the future generations that are going to inherit it. And that's some of the beauty of what Heritage Films does. When they do these documentaries, they don't just tell the story. They tell inside the story, the little parts of the story that you'll miss in just a normal conversation. These documentary films about families, family businesses, family ranches are deep. And Chance McClain and his team really know how to unpack all that dialogue and present it in an awesome 2-hour documentary. If you've got somebody in your family that's really important to you and you want to tell their story, have Chance McClain and his team do that for you. Chance and his team are amazing. What you should do is check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. And I think we're back. TexAgs Live, the Whisper Hour here on the program. I don't know what we're going to do. Thought we had a guest. Not here. It's all right. It's TexAgs Live presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program, just saying things to fill some time. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Let's find out, if you have time, do you have the information for On TexAgs today?
I do not.
Okay, well, then you're good at this job.
I do have a good topic, though, for you.
Okay, well, give me the topic.
I think you're going to like this. All right, so Elko's done a pretty good job in the transfer portal. And I did this last night. I was kind of going through it on the website. So I was going to list a couple guys, and I want to see who's your favorite or you think is going to be the biggest pickup for us. So Isaiah Horton, transfer receiver from Alabama. CJ Sims, the interior defensive lineman from North Carolina. Cohen Eccles, interior O lineman from LSU. Houston Thomas, the tight end from UTSA. David Olano, kicker from Illinois. Or Ricky Gibson III, the cornerback from Tennessee.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3.
Do you have a favorite sibling?
I do not. I love them all.
Okay. Here's another one.
The same.
Who at TexAgs do you like the most? Now, you're an issue here because I'm the host of the show.
What?
So if you don't say me, you're off.
He definitely has an opinion, though. The fact that he paused, there's a clear answer.
It's Olin, because everybody loves Olin.
I don't know.
And I love Olin, too. He'd probably be my number 1 pick.
That's hard.
That's my point.
That's hard.
Can you imagine I go, my favorite's Ricky Gibson Jr., and David Olano walks in here 5 seconds later for an interview like, I heard that, bro. I'm going to tell you what I like about a lot of these players. Okay? Who was the first name?
Isaiah Horton.
I like that Isaiah Horton has been successful at 2 different stops, big programs. I like that we've seen an explosive play against A&M as a young player a couple years back.
No.
I like that that when A&M didn't get Cam Coleman, they ended up getting Isaiah Horton. And it's not an either or. I think they wanted them both. And I think he's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
Who's the next one?
CJ Sims, interior defensive lineman from North Carolina.
Another guy that it's played at a high level, and you're trying to replace, your interior defensive line because again, this team, and I probably could apply this methodology to a lot of the players you're going to give me, but without some of the dudes that are moving on to the NFL, you're going to get a guy who's going to be able to fill that role nicely, who's done it at extremely high level.
And then next guy, Cohen Eccles, the guy from LSU.
Oh, he wanted to go to A&M initially. Yeah. I love it. Yes, same reasons. You're getting a guy. Now, what I'm really going to enjoy doing is getting to know these guys through hopefully some of these NIL interviews over the next couple of months and getting to know them on a different level than just seeing highlights of an offensive lineman blocking, right? And going to practice and seeing how they respond and how they are with their teammates. All indications, both LSU guys, right, that are coming in, are going to be really nice. You have to the difference, and I've talked about this on the show a couple different times. The difference here is that A&M is bringing in talent to replace an offensive line like some of the other teams did last year, but they also have young guys that they've been developing, and I think we're going to see a hybrid kind of approach to that.
Yeah, I agree.
Anybody else?
So Houston Thomas, the tight end from UTSA.
I bring this up a lot on the show because it doesn't take a brainiac to know that it was a possibility just because of how high level he was playing. But when he played here at Kyle Field this year, Olin was next to him. He goes, he's going to look good in maroon and white next year.
No.
And not that he had insider information, just it made sense with some of the tight end situation here at A&M, the fact that he was a College Station kid, the fact that he had a relationship with Coach Elko, and it turns out to be the case, and he's a very high-level player.
Yeah, it's going to be good for us.
Is Olano the other one?
Kicker from Illinois, yeah.
Very high percentage rate.
I'm interested to see how that goes, though. We got the 5-star kicker, Asher Murray, from my hometown, Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm interested to see how that goes. Maybe Olano starts over him, experience-wise. He's a year left.
Yeah, I think you have to always present a path to play to these kids.
Yeah.
So we used Brady Thomas as the example. Brady Hart, excuse me, not Brady Thomas. Brady Hart as the example yesterday. As I am sure there's been a conversation this is how we see it happening. You're going to have an opportunity to compete for the starting job, but this is how we see you eventually becoming the guy.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing has to be said for each position group, including kicker.
Yeah.
David Olano, when you're that good, now we've seen Coach Elko. He'll make a move though, right? If you're not hitting, he'll make a move. All right, let's hit a break. We'll get back on the basketball track because Tom Schuberth, good old Tom, is in studio. When it comes to your money and your financial peace of mind, it starts with the right team, and that right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals. They have 9 CFPs, a CFA, a CPA, all on their staff, and their expertise runs deep. And at Paragon, credentials matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or call them up 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. And we are back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to talk some basketball and books here on the program. Tom Schuberth, the coach, is joining us to break it all down. Coach, what's up?
Good to see you, David. Glad to be here. Unfortunately, I wish it was under a different circumstance, but very proud of what I saw last night.
I like this blazer.
Thank you.
I like it.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen you wear this green one before.
No, I try to change it up every time.
Look at you.
Be a little different, of course.
The old switcheroo.
Yeah.
Coach brought me a couple of books because last week I mentioned to him that I'm a fake reader. And when I say I'm a fake reader, you came in and you said, well, you're a reader. I am forcing myself to read.
Sure.
I don't know if I would call myself a reader. I like to do things that I don't do, right? So you brought me a couple of books. Tell me about them. We got Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success. I've heard a lot about this one.
Yeah, and I've probably have, not to diminish the good gift, but 100 copies of it. So I like giving them out to people that can appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, anytime John Wooden's got so many great quotes and wisdom and all that. So that one. And then the other one is, again, a gift.
This is so kind of you.
You are a Goomba, I believe. Is that correct? Yes. So I think you can appreciate that. I've been gifted, not that one, but several of those from my Italian friends. So I thought you would enjoy that.
It's how do you pronounce his name? He's Bobby Bacala from Sopranos. It's Steven Sciarappa, I guess.
You would be better at that than me, I think.
Was he? Yeah, he was Bobby. There was another character on the show that had a name that I couldn't say on the radio. But thank you very much for this.
You're welcome.
You know what name I was talking about? Because I heard a laugh.
I don't.
Okay. Don't Google big whatever on Sopranos. Anyway, big loss yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard me earlier with Olin. I don't do moral victories. I probably do it, but I don't want to. But I look at yesterday as multiple ways, Tom. Tell me if you're with me on it. I think this team is, after yesterday, better than I thought. I think after yesterday, I'm upset that they let that one get away. And they've got to figure out the free throws at the end. Because I know they're a good free throw shooting team.
Right.
How does that jive with the way you
I
look
would
at
have
it?
said it just like you did. Number one, if there's anybody out there that doesn't think they've exceeded expectations, I can't imagine that. They are a very difficult basketball team to play against. Ironically, though, what I've been saying, timing has been in their favor. And what I mean by that, look at the schedule.
Yep.
So I went back and looked, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only 2 games on their schedule where they were not favored to win, by the odds makers. And that was Auburn and Tennessee. And they won one of those. So they're above schedule. They were favored at Oklahoma State early because Oklahoma State was new.
Yep.
A&M was undefeated. But the way they are competing and able to do the things they're doing is surprising me even. I'm to get 3 or 4 5-second counts, taking the ball out of bounds, 10-second counts in the back court, guys running with the ball because you got them so frustrated and confused on the baseline when it's a spot throw-in. That's amazing that they're doing that to good teams.
Right.
So, and then I'm all about the system. Bucky's got a great system. It's difficult to play against, but it's even more difficult to be effective with. It takes a lot of time and players and talent. And then what the critics say about the system is it's hard to do it against really good opponents, I think he's proven that against an Auburn and Tennessee so far. LSU and Oklahoma, I think they'll be bottom of the SEC, but still, it's working. I'm amazed at it. So I think he's way above schedule. But does that mean they're going to keep climbing and get better and better? That I don't know, because look at the schedule they have.
It's about to get crazy.
There's one stretch there where they have Florida, Georgia, Alabama, which right now.
And I think Vanderbilt right after that.
Yeah. And so to me, if I had to pick a winner of the SEC, I'm going with Florida right now. That would be my pick, just based on their success last year, and they're really playing well.
As a coach, you look at that game. What do you tell your team? What do you say? Why did they lose?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he has to pick these guys up anymore. That's what I love about. It's unfortunate they didn't win, but they're playing close, or they're in every game. So, I was at the Oklahoma State game, sitting there in the stands watching them, and when you watch that team, they look so demoralized and beat down, like they didn't even want to be out there. What I loved is Bucky's been able to turn it around. Part of it, they're getting better, But then again, the timing of the schedule. I thought they were brilliant in playing people they're going to beat. You need that with a new team and a new system. These guys believe they can beat anybody, and they should have won that game yesterday. Bucky McMillan outcoached Rick Barnes in that game. The best team did not win yesterday. I don't mean the best team overall, but the best team
last night.
They should have won that game.
They were the better team for 97% of it.
They were. And then, they had their opportunities, and they missed the timely free throws and shots. Again, right. And that's the thing. They're 74% as a team, that we shot 67%, which is a little below our average. But if they would have just made one key free throw late, game's over. And then, you couldn't have got a better shot from Ruma Dominguez with, 34 seconds. Yeah. He makes that 3 games over, too. So they got what they were looking for. It just wasn't their night. So, unfortunately.
They did not lose because of the out-of-bounds play call. Okay? They did not. But it was costly, I thought.
So I looked at that, and so I was watching TV. And so there isn't the rule if they called it Tennessee's ball. So they have the only way they overrule it if there was inconclusive evidence. I didn't see that. I thought he was holding the ball, and as Griffin knocked it, Griffin had the ball, and as the player knocked it, it could have slid out of Griffin's hand. So that's why I think they would have overturned it if they could see that it clearly didn't. So, but again, we would have had an opportunity to win. Yeah. What I was proud of, how about we had 2 stops in regulation in the first overtime? I mean, I thought we confused Tennessee so bad they got a terrible look, and then they got a 3-pointer. At home, you're driving at and putting pressure on the officials. So I give it's unfortunate A&M didn't win, but I really was impressed with the outing.
I don't have the rebounding numbers in front of me, but anytime you get demolished on the boards the way A&M did, you would assume that 60 to 35. Thank you very much. Yeah. There it is.
It was 25 rebounds. Right?
You would assume that you would lose by double digits.
Correct. So I was reading some tweets or on TexAgs from the fans, and they're so upset about the rebounding. But that's what Tennessee's really elite at. That's what they butter their bread with. Where Bucky's system, you can't be good in everything. You're not going to be good in turning people over and shooting threes and then be an incredible half-court defensive team and then be an outstanding rebound. You're going to give up something. And so what I've been impressed with is I think they get a lot more production out of their system than they're giving up. Right. You're going to give up some easy baskets when you press and try to turn people over. You're going to give up dunks at the other end or layups. I'm amazed at how few they have against the really good teams because they're so competitive and they sprint back and communicate and do a good job.
The game that Jakari Lane had, really, I feel like he needed that game. And if that's what we started, I'm not expecting the 20 points a game. I'm not saying that, but just that kind of confidence, that kind of production, what could they do for this team?
Sure. His numbers are off the charts for a little guard, and especially coming from a North Alabama that plays in the A-Sun to make the transition to playing against high-powered teams. Another question I got from some people that I know, like late in the game when they were down 3 with 36 seconds to go, and Bucky called a timeout. Why didn't we shoot the 3? Or they were talking about, and I'm a huge 2-for-1 guy, but I really believe Bucky wanted to get a 3. But Tennessee's out there, in their timeout, they're taking away all threes, rhythm threes, making them be dribblers. And then the other thing I think how you beat the Bucky system is you make people finish at the rim, especially small guards. You cannot suck in. Defenses are designed to protect the rim, protect the basket. And you'll notice that a lot of teams are no longer helping at all. They're staying on the shooters, and they're making guys finish.
And it's allowing them to finish.
Absolutely. And so when they do finish, we're really effective. And then sometimes when you have that shot blocker, rim protector, he can make a difference. And that certainly happened a couple times late in the game.
I know you'll be doing your keys to the game against Texas, but how do they not allow one loss to become 2 losses? Because this Texas game, they just beat Bama. I think you're better than Texas. I think you should be better than Texas, and I think you should win. But it's on the road. It's against a team that has a big win already. What happens here?
Yeah, I'm scared. I mean, those rivalry games on the road are hard to win. And then again, I think Bucky's always got his guys prepared. I love how they play with confidence. The Auburn game was just the perfect example. You win in spurts. How about, the 11 points in the 28 seconds and then the 30-something to 5 run? That's what this defense is designed to do. So you're never out of it. But at the same time, we've had trouble keeping leads, and that's when you play that way, a team can catch up just as quickly, especially when you miss a free throw or you maybe turn it over when you uncharacteristically don't do it. So I'm not looking forward to the Texas game, to be honest. I think Sean Miller's a good coach. Now, we were just talking, they have Vanderbilt tonight.
Yeah.
So in their mind, that's probably even a bigger game, trying to knock off an undefeated team and keep their win streak going. But I just love the progress Bucky Ball's making. But we talked earlier, I still believe this. If they were to go 8-10, I think it's a successful season.
Yeah.
I'm wishing more, but I'd take 8-10 and say he did a tremendous job.
Tom, last thing for you. Defensively, they were really good yesterday for huge stretches, but foul trouble kind of limited what they could do late.
Yes, I was amazed at how Rick Barnes did not attack Aggie. It was amazing. I mean, he played with 4 fouls for like 20-some minutes, and they have all that size. They confused Tennessee on offense. It almost looked like they didn't know what they were doing at times. Bucky changing his defense, playing that matchup zone, and just scrambling and doing a great job. When they did get it inside, they did kind of punish us a little bit, especially with the second and third opportunities. But again, you can't be great at everything, especially with the small teams. So I think they're really playing well.
All right, Tom. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank
you for the books, too.
Sure.
Appreciate that. The great Tom Schuberth here on TexAgs Live. When we come back, Around Aggieland, Sydney Cleavinger will be in studio. That and more. It's TexAgs. All right, it's time for the Cleavinger. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Around Aggieland. Sydney's there. What up?
How are you?
I'm all right. Where you been? You haven't seen you at work in years.
I've been on break. I went skiing.
Okay.
I was not good at it, but
No?
yeah.
Well, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I know you're doing your first Around Aggieland. Tell me a couple of the things we got.
Yeah, so as y'all have been talking about earlier, Aggie men's basketball unfortunately broke their 6-game win streak last night and fell to the number 4 Tennessee Volunteers, losing 87-82 in double overtime after leading for over 35 minutes. Jakari Lane led the Aggies with the season high at 20 points and 9 assists. Pop Isaacs cooked up 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Ruben Dominguez brought 15 points, and Rashawn Aggie added 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Buckyball will stay on the road and travel to Austin this weekend to take on the Longhorns at 5 p.m. on Saturday. And then staying on the court, Aggie women's basketball was also defeated, sadly. The number 7 Vanderbilt Commodores put up 91 points, while the Aggies only managed 51. Vandy really took control in the second half with their double-digit lead, and A&M just couldn't find much offensive rhythm after that. Nicira Pryor led the way for the Aggies with 11 points plus 5 assists and 5 rebounds, and she's now just 1 point away from becoming the 6th player in D1 history with 2,000 points, 500 assists, and 400 steals. The Ags will also travel to Austin this weekend for the Lone Star Showdown and face the number 2 Texas Longhorns on Sunday.
Good stuff. Way to go.
Thank you.
Is that it?
I'm like
We're
shaking.
done?
I have one more.
Okay, let's do it then.
Would you like me to? Okay.
But I want you to do it in Spanish. Go.
No can do.
Okay. All right, you can do it in English.
Well, okay, moving on to softball. Maya Perez and KK Dement were named to the D1 100 preseason player rankings. Perez coming in at number 15 after her incredible sophomore season, where she earned second-team All-America honors, NFCA All-Region second-team recognition, and All-SET first-team accolades while breaking a 43-year-old school record, single-season RBI record with 73. She was also just chosen for the Softball America preseason All-America first team.
Just say that again, because I don't think I could have said that. Say it again. Softball America All-America
She was chosen
team.
for the Softball America preseason All-America first team. That's a tongue twister.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah. And then Dement ranks at number 48 after earning D1 softball All-America freshman first team honors, NFCA All-Region first team recognition, and SEC All-Tournament team accolades last year. Aggie softball will open their 2026 season by hosting the Aggie Classic on February 5th against ACU at 4:30 p.m. and Utah State at 7 p.m. at home.
That was fantastic, Sid. Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. All right, we'll hit a break here. When we come back on TexAgs Live, what are we doing? We're doing recruiting country. The great Jason Howell will be on the show. It's been a long time since we've had Jason on the program. Looking forward to that. Let's get a text message in before we hit the break. Alex Schoonover at the Angry Elephant Youth and Social Center. I saw that little text you got, like, hey, we're going to miss you, Alex.
That's old Marshall McKinnis group with my dad and my aunt.
Okay.
Back in Minden, Louisiana.
Well, Marshall texts the show often, so I appreciate him.
Yeah, his, I don't know if his brother's daughter is one of my good best friends. Malloy, she's at TCU. So
yeah, if you had to pick your siblings, number 1, who would it be again?
I don't know. Love them the same.
All right, see? Never ask me again about who's my favorite trans. I'm kidding with you. No, we don't have time. No, we wasted it. Way to go, Scoon. Good job. When we come back, Jason Howell, TexAgs. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank, the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan, College Station. And American Momentum Bank is committed to helping our community prosper by offering you a wide array of personal and business banking solutions specifically designed to help build financial success with confidence and momentum on your side. And with that, we go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. The married man, the man who's been gone. He's been traveling, working, honeymooning, you name it. He does it all. Jason Howell joining us here on the program. What's up, Jason? How you been, bud?
Oh, business as usual. You know how it is. Just trying to fit it all in.
Yes, sir. All right, so talk to me about the vows. That was cool, man. I didn't know that was happening. Congratulations.
Yeah, we've been together for so long. We just decided to make it all official and made the decision in December, and had a little small ceremony in a park here locally with a friend officiating, and just a little small gathering. Went and had some Mexican food afterwards, and one of our favorite little spots, and spent the night downtown Dallas. I think 45 minutes before I said the vows, I was dropping scoop on the board. So,
but how did she handle that?
Stops.
Was she okay with that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she didn't know.
Oh, okay. Did you sneak it? How'd you do it?
I mean, I was getting ready and got a few text messages. Things came together, and just put it out there. Put out the news. I think Ismail Kamara with the visit for the January 24th Junior Day.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was, I think we had portal stuff going on. I mean, there was no real separation from the work, but no, we had a good time. We had a great dinner, night out, and just trying not to keep too close of tabs on the phone. You know how it is. Sometimes you just got to flip it over and let those notifications come in a little bit.
Well, Jason, I've said it on the show several times. You, Bronny, Billy have done such an amazing job in the portal, and just even this morning, you're updating us on guys that were on the watch list that aren't necessarily, they're going back to their previous school. I think it was the South Carolina offensive lineman that you wrote about. So it's all slowed down, and we expected it to. I think if I remember correctly, Coach Oka wanted to basically be as close to done as possible last weekend, right? There's still a couple days of things that can happen. So what's the latest of what you're hearing?
Well, and Bronny's done a really good job on this, but Jordan Seaton jumping in the portal from Colorado, big 5-star offensive lineman, starting left tackle, a guy that's just, he's been one of those guys from high school to college that's gonna project highly to the NFL, has performed very highly, and of course he's going to get all the attention, and it's going to take some deep pockets to make it work. But Jordan Seaton's a guy we're keeping an eye on. A&M's kind of been talked about in the mix. I think we'll leave some for the board there, but Bronny's had some pretty good insight into what's going on there and how A&M's, playing that one and kind of what their role is in that recruitment. And of course, Jordan Renaud just went into the portal as well. He's a guy. Terry Price offered him when he was a sophomore, and he's the guy with Texas connections. Now at Alabama, and A&M recruited him fairly heavily. There was some times where A&M was thought to be the front runner there, and there was some times where the communication kind of lacked a little bit. And anyways, he ends up at Alabama, and now as he looks, towards his future, there's now some guys from Alabama with some pretty strong connections there that could. You could see some reuniting. But right now, when it comes to the portal, A&M can be really picky. They don't have to go address anything. I think they've really done a good job of finding guys, targeting guys at their need areas, and solidifying the roster to a point where if they don't make any more moves, if there's not the right fit financially, experience-wise, whatever, then they don't have to make moves. They've got things situated in a pretty strong, for a pretty strong run once again in 2026.
As things stand right now, though, how do you feel overall with where they are?
I think they've done a really, really good job. I don't want to get over the moon with it, but they've done a really good job of, like I said, bringing in guys with experience. You've got a lot of SEC guys on the offensive front. They wanted to go out and get, address some needs, hit some left tackles and, find some big bodies and you're replacing a lot of experience up there, and you got some promising young talent on the roster, but you want to have a good blend, and I think they did a good job of finding guys that know what they're stepping into in College Station. They've been through the SEC rigors, and it's something where I think that the young guys already on the roster have a chance to continue to grow and progress and step into the spotlight themselves.
Jason, you talked about A&M's ability or the luxury that they have that they can be picky. Kind of remind the audience how it all works, though, because it closes Friday, but that doesn't mean they don't have to, take some players on later, right? They just have to go in the portal by Friday, correct?
Yeah. And I think most guys are going to try to make those decisions here shortly, if not over the weekend or whatever. But yeah, they can't take visits. I think I'm not exactly sure how that works with the guys playing in the championship games and all that, but for the most part, you're not going to see guys taking a lot of visits. And with the academic calendar, what it is, I mean, believe it or not, it still plays a part in all this, the drop class, enroll date, and all that stuff. They want to be on campuses wherever they're going to be in the spring, because if you're not where you want to be, you're not getting that NIL paycheck either. So you gotta figure out they have to figure out their situation here pretty quickly. But yeah, that I think it's the 16th that window closes, and so there can be additions to the class, but yeah, for the most part, you're going to see guys that 99% of the guys are already going to be in the portal.
So I'm just reading off of this. It says, obviously with the 1-day condensed portal, this is it, right? But the college football championship teams, both Miami and Indiana, get an extra 5 days. And there's still that 15-day window that opens up after a new coaching moves on, right? So if somebody takes an NFL job, but then you're in a situation, are there still a lot of names left in the portal in that world? I mean, I guess you could start in the summer, right? You can bring in players in the summer, but there's just not a new window that opens for better groceries.
Yeah, there's one window, and yeah, there may be some secondary windows, like you said, for coaching change and some of those guys playing in championship games. But for the most part, yeah, and those guys that are left without a team, man, there's probably a reason why they're without a team, still searching right now. They're looking for that opportunity, and it may not come. So you may see some guys finding a new home at JUCO or deciding to go down a level just to find a home on the field or hang it up. But yeah, when it comes to guys that A&M's probably going to be targeting, it's going to have to be a special circumstance or just an undeniable talent that you got to take a look at.
All right, junior days are coming up. We got one this weekend, right?
Got one this weekend, January 17th. Look for, it's not going to be the biggest weekend as far as numbers, but a little more in-state local guys. But there's some pretty big-time names out there that are planning to make it to town. I know we've confirmed Cooper Witten from Liberty Christian, the a 5-star prospect type of guy that's been a long-time target. Jackson Roper, another big-time offensive lineman. Caden Scott. We'll have more of a list, but you're going to see a lot more in-state guys this weekend. I think most of the in-state commits you're going to see on campus this weekend, and just get guys around the coaches and spend some time and do a little high school recruiting. There is no dead period between portal and high school recruiting. It just all flows together, and A&M has done a good job. They've got this weekend, and then next weekend they're going to have another one that's probably going to see a lot more national names, just because right now they're fighting Polynesian Bowl. There's a lot of targets out there for that. There's some competing dates from other schools that this weekend that might draw some other top targets. But look for both weekends to have some pretty high level targets.
Do they make these junior days a unique kind of experience like they do when they're seniors? What is there a difference, I guess, in the weekend, the approach for a junior day as opposed to later on?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's about rolling out it's educating people on the program, getting them around the staff, and just building those relationships. And of course, a lot of these guys they've already had on campus. I know there's a guy, Noah Glover, out of Battlefield in Virginia. He's a top linebacker that hasn't had a chance. And when I asked him what he's most looking forward to, he was like, "I want to see everything." He knows he's not going to be able to see that, but it's about giving those guys, their families, a chance to really understand what the university and the program's about, meet with coaches, and get some of the more intensive game plans. They'll talk about, okay, this is where we see you at in this position, and all this. They'll get the full rollout. Just take them around campus, give them the tour of the facilities, and really just spend a lot of time with those guys and their families, and develop those relationships. And it's a chance for both sides to see, okay, I like the culture, or the fit and everything, and just get a feel for one another, and see what happens next.
You want to go over some of these new offers? I know there's a couple in state that have happened here.
Well, yeah, I mentioned both of those. We recently did interviews with both of them. They're 28s, both from the DFW area, and one, Brendan Jackson, is a receiver out of Midlothian. I got a chance. I first came across him when I was watching Nelson McGuire, and he was a guy who immediately jumped out, and that staff could not rave more on. He was a guy they went to in clutch situations. They tried to get him the ball in a variety of ways. It was a real touch and go ball game when I went out to see them, and he was a guy that made plays in clutch situations as a freshman. And this last fall, he just continued to grow and develop, and he was our leading receiver, and his offer list has grown considerably. I want to say A&M. He's now up to double digits, and picked up both A&M and the University of Texas there with last week. So his offer, his star is growing, especially in state, and he's definitely one to keep an eye on. He visited for the Auburn game this fall. And then the other one is Aaron Snell, who's the younger brother of Jaquan Snell, who's committed in the 27 recruiting class. And he is 6 foot, 6'1", 275 pounds. Think of like a Byron Murphy, Aaron Donald, just tightly wound, athletic, interior presence that is a little bit undersized, but man, is he productive, and that athleticism. That the Snell name has been one with a strong lineage there in Waxahachie, and he is he last fall he led the team in sacks and tackles for loss as a sophomore. So look for him to continue to grow and develop. He's got some measurements. His hands, he's got a 10-inch hand, and he's got a large wingspan, so he's got some length to him. And you may see him continue to add a few inches. But with the athletic background, the production, and just what he put on tape this fall, it was. I love the offer, and A&M getting in early. I think SMU and Southern Miss have also put offers on the table, but yeah, there's. I know that was a big one for him, the opportunity to possibly play with his brother, and I think he's excited to build a relationship there with Elijah. So, yeah, a couple big in-state offers for sure, guys, to keep an eye on in that 28 class.
Jason, on the other side, let's talk about some of these bowl games. The Polynesian Bowl, we got the Navy All-American Bowl to talk about. So we got still a lot to get into here over the next few minutes on Recruiting Country. So we'll get back to Jason Howell here in a moment. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. If you're looking for a selection that won't break the bank, you should check out CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. That's where they have their selection of vehicles on there. You can get a good sense for what they have, the pricing for it, but I really highly recommend you actually making the drive out there, because when you go there, you can experience that quality, and that quality goes well beyond just the vehicles, the customer service, the amazing trade-in value that they're going to give you. Just the overall experience is going to bring you just a very happy car buying experience. They have complimentary pickup and delivery for their service customers. They also have free oil change for life as long as you own that vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive. The edge of Bryant to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. I wish I had Olin here for it, because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio, Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. We return to the hotline. The hotline is where we find Jason Howell. Jason, the reason I paused is I'm trying to figure out how I want to bring this topic up to you, because it happened organically during the break. All right. So Kayla, who's interning, who's shadowing Schoonover, asked me what my high-low buffalo is. Are you familiar with the term high-low buffalo?
No.
Okay, well, we're about to play high-low buffalo recruiting country, okay?
Okay.
All right, she explained it to me, but I'm going to use what the internet says to kind of explain it to you. It's an icebreaker conversation game to foster deeper connection. I don't care about the connection, all right? I just want you to answer some questions. You got to tell me the high, the best thing, recruiting-wise, going on right now. The low, a challenging thing, recruiting-wise. And then something random, recruiting-wise, that's happening. I'm putting on, this just happened a second ago. I had to answer these questions and brag about how I'm just harder working than everybody. So now you just need to give me some recruiting nuggets in this high-low buffalo.
Well, as far as the recruiting process, I think the junior days coming up or the high mark, you've got a ton of high-level national prospects that are going to be in town, and we will have lists for at least for this upcoming weekend here pretty soon on the site. So stay tuned for that. But look for a number of top priority targets over the next few, to be on campus over the next couple weekends. What was the other one?
Low.
Something low.
Low, but hold on. Let me teach you something. All right. Let me teach you something.
I'm gonna go like low, as in maybe things have slowed down a little bit.
There we go.
It's lower key, and I'm gonna say right now with the transfer portal kind of winding down, and A&M being able to be so picky, we don't have a ton of just breaking news. We don't have the Cam Coleman, that whole.
Watch
saga going on, and we've seen a lot of those questions be answered. So right now the transfer portal is right there, but you definitely want to stay tuned because Elko and company have shown they will make a move if there's a move to be made, and they are not afraid to shake some things up. So if the right thing's out there, the right addition, things can happen. We're still monitoring a few different targets out there. And then random. Yeah, I don't know where to go with this one. They've been all over with new offers, with move-in day. I don't think a lot of attention got paid to move-in day, but you've got so many different things going on. I love those 28 offers we just talked about, but you could dive right into just. I think it's fascinating that 2 of the 3 quarterbacks at the Polynesian Bowl for one team are both A&M guys. You got Helaman Kasuga and Jace Johnson, both out there in Hawaii working with I'm going to mess up the name of the team if I don't get it right. It's Team Mackay. Or Mackay.
Yeah. Tel Aviv.
Yeah. So be sure to tune in for that. That'll be a lot of fun to watch those guys rotate in. There's another quarterback out there to round it out as a trio, but those two both have been turning heads out there in Hawaii over the first couple days, and that game played on Friday will feature quite a few A&M targets.
Hey. See how you did that? You did great. You found something random. You interwove what we're going to talk about anyway. That was fantastic. Anything else in the Polynesian Bowl before we move on to the Navy All-American?
Yeah, this is Ismail Kamara's only bowl game. And this will be his first game back since, I guess, December. He went out to the Army Combine in Frisco around the time of the state championship games here. So he's been working, but this is his first action like full pads. So it'll be fun to watch him go at it with quite a few guys. So that's one thing to watch there. Landon Williams-Callis out there will also be on hand. This is his only bowl game, and he's a high-level target for A&M. And of course, you've got a number of other guys that played in Under Armour, but those will be the only two that'll be making their debut. Now, Raylan Henry also had a big day, and you got Samu Moala out there also representing A&M. So you have four. You have one signee, 3 commits, and quite a few targets. So definitely something to tune into.
Any other bowl games we need to be focusing on, or anything else you think, Jason?
I mean, unless you're talking about the national championship game.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the Steelers-Texans, though.
I think we should talk about it, actually, now that you mention it. I think we should spend a lot of time on it, especially our good friend Christian Kirk.
Hey, I love seeing Christian Kirk do his thing. Unfortunately, it had to come at my Steelers' expense. And I had a feeling, I think I told you last week, I wasn't expecting a lot from the Steelers in the playoffs, considering their history, or their recent history. And, I hate to see Tomlin go, but at the same time, I feel like it's time to give somebody else a chance. And the Texans were able to help force the issue there, I think. So, I think if I want to look at it positively, that's where I'll go.
Jason, great stuff, man. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you very soon.
Always. Thank you.
Go Texans. Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean that rudely. Jason Howell there on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. You got to say "and" loud. You got to punctuate. Bobby Shuttleworth is in the building. He's in the lobby, so we'll get him here in studio in the next couple of minutes. Right now, let's talk about our friends at Rollo Insurance. And we all know this, that your insurance decisions shouldn't be made in 15 minutes or less. Rollo Insurance builds lasting relationships through education, helping you understand exactly what you're paying for, doing the shopping for you so that you can accomplish all of your insurance goals. They take care of home, auto, business, specialty coverage. Their independent agents provide options tailored to your specific need, and they take the time to explain their policy in plain language, ensuring that you're never left wondering about your coverage. That educational approach empowers you to make informed decisions about protecting your family and your home. Many clients discover better protection at competitive rates simply because they finally understand all of their options. Experience the difference at one of their 60-plus Texas offices. It is Rollo Insurance. Visit the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That is rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Got Bobby Shuttleworth in the studio. And Bobby, you don't understand the amount of people that have been reaching out to me. I can't even name them. They're on the message boards. They're on Dave and Edmund, Mark, Ag. Like these guys, when are you going to get Bobby in studio to talk some Aggie soccer? So we're excited to have you here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming in. So just, how long, has it been 3-4 weeks? How long has it been?
Yeah, probably close to a month.
Close to a month. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been good, busy, trying to get everything organized and meet the team and start to build those relationships. And now we're slowly getting close to getting on the field and starting the soccer, which is exciting.
So when you were like, I kind of want to go to the beginning. You're coaching, you guys win your second national championship, and then things start to change. Like, at what point are you thinking staff, family moving? Like, how does your mind work when there's so many different moving parts?
Yeah, and it all happened pretty quickly. And, just trying to kind of break it down one thing at a time. And, obviously was excited about the possibility of the opportunity. And then when it actually started to become real, okay, this is happening. And then, like you said, just trying to get the staff in place right away. So then we can just get organized and, meet the players and start to build those relationships. And, just kind of attacking it one thing at a time. And, my family's been great. They've been supportive. So they're excited to get here.
So when you're doing that, like, do you have when do you start thinking about the vision of being a head coach? As an assistant coach, obviously you're very focused on this role, but in the back of your mind, you're like, all right, when I start building a team, this is like, is it something you start planning days, months, years in advance of what it could look like?
Yeah, I wasn't, in a hurry to be a head coach. When I got to Florida State, Brian has been amazing through this whole process. And, I wanted to learn first and learn college soccer and learn women's college soccer and have those experiences, and wasn't actively looking to, for a new job. I always had a goal of wanting to be a head coach. So, Brian and I talked quite a bit about that. And when this opportunity opened, I thought this could be a great place for me and to take that next step as a head coach.
I'd like to trace back your career. You spent a long time in the MLS. How did you go from MLS to wanting to be a women's coach? Like, was there some club coaching in between? Kind of take me through that whole process.
Yeah, I coached on the men's side when I was in Boston playing for New England Revolution. And then I did some volunteer coaching when I was in Atlanta on the women's side. Throughout my playing career, knew I wanted to be a coach, wasn't sure at what age level, and I had an amazing college experience and had some really good coaches, so it felt like a natural fit. And being able to work with college players, and I wasn't really concerned with working on the men's side or the women's side, just wanted to work with good players that wanted to be pros and develop and progress.
Let's go back to your era in the MLS and to where it is now. Like, those early days that you were playing, like to where you've seen the league grow now, not just soccer in this country, but that particular league, just how different does it, I mean, the Apple TV rights, the Messi's there, like the whole thing.
I mean, it's developed an incredible amount. I started in the league in 2009 to see where it is now with the soccer-specific stadiums and how much attention it gets and the support from the fans. And, it's developed a crazy amount in a pretty short period of time. And obviously, like you're talking about, the level is, it's a very good level of soccer now.
Beckham was still playing in 2009, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Do you remember playing against him?
I didn't play against him.
No.
But I do remember one of my first trips going to LA, and he was playing, and I was kind of like, wow, this is David Beckham. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at what you're doing now, what goes into developing relationships with players on campus and trying to show their path for what success is going to look like?
Yeah, I think that, first it's trying to develop that trust, and, those things don't happen, at the click of a finger, like, snap of a finger. Like, you gotta be there, you gotta have conversations, you gotta develop the relationship. They have to feel supported, and trying to get here, as soon as I took this job, I sat down with each player and just talked to them about, on the field stuff, but off the field stuff, and they got to feel like you're invested in them. And that's what we're going to do at this program. We're going to invest in these kids. We're going to ask a lot of them physically and mentally when they're on the field, but we're going to give them a lot as well. We're going to give them our time. We're going to give them our energy, give them our love, and want them to feel like they're going to be supported, on and off the field.
How different is the roster? I mean, have you brought in some new players? How's that roster looking?
Yeah, there's four players that have enrolled early. The roster's not really changed that much from what it looked like in the fall. I didn't have the opportunity. I've watched quite a few games from this past fall, but I've not seen any of these players play live. So I think everybody deserves an opportunity to put their best foot forward and kind of see where things go.
How would you describe your brand of soccer? Like, what is it going to look like?
I hope we get to a place where it's high energy. Making teams feel very uncomfortable. This is not an easy place to come and play. When I was at Florida State, we came here in 2023.
I remember that, yeah.
And it was a really, really difficult game. I think we scored with a few minutes left to win 2-1.
Was it a freshman? Wasn't it your freshman player who was really good?
One of them, she scored. Yeah. I think she scored one of them, and then Taylor Huff scored another one towards the end of the game. But it was a difficult place to come play. It was the first game of the year, and there was still a really good crowd here. So I want teams to feel that when they come here. I want them to come in here and be uncomfortable and know that when they come here, it's going to be a difficult game. We're going to be hard to break down, and we're going to get in your face and make things really, really hard.
Before the interview, we were talking. You said you've had a couple conversations with Coach G. Just talk a little bit about that relationship and also what he means to this program.
Yeah, as soon as I took this job, I reached out to him just to, want to, obviously congratulate him on an amazing, career here at A&M, and just want to continue the work that he did and continue to have this program in a successful place. And he's been amazing. He's been so helpful and helping me kind of learn about this place and the people and what this program's all about. And he's offered any kind of support. He's willing to be there, and obviously that's really appreciated.
I think you'll really be able to feel it once you have your first match here. But have you felt how different this place is? There's a uniqueness to being an Aggie.
Yeah, I think when I got home from my I flew here right after the national championship and spent 4 or 5 days here. And when I got home, I spoke to my wife, and the first thing I said to her is, "You're going to really like this place," And I think obviously beautiful campus and all of that, but the people, the second I stepped on campus here, really has like a family feel to it, and people have been so welcoming. So been really excited about that.
Talk to us about your family. You got a couple of kids, right?
Yeah, I got a 6-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. My wife, Gina Marie, and we got our hands full with those two.
Yeah.
But they're going to be coming down pretty soon, so excited for them to get here.
Yeah, and I think this community for that is it's going to be great for them to grow up in this environment. What is in the 2 championships that you were part of, what does a championship DNA look like in your opinion? What are some of the similarities? Maybe not from a talent perspective, but just from a work ethic, the way they go to work every day.
Yeah. The 2 teams that we had that won the national championship were very, very different. Just the makeup of them was very, very different. But I think in both of those teams, we had some older players with good experience, good communicators that really demanded the standard every single day, and showed up to training every day and realizing this is where the majority of the work happens, and what you do every day in training is going to directly translate to what you're doing on the field. And I think those 2 teams had really good training habits, and you saw when we went on the field, a lot of times the game is almost easier sometimes, right? And I thought, they did an amazing job of holding that standard every single day.
What can you tell me about your staff?
Yeah, I'm excited about the staff. Alyssa, who's been an assistant here for a while, she's staying with us. So she played 11 years in NWSL. She has an amazing experiences to share. Our director of ops that's been here for a long time, Kurt, he's remaining as well, and I can't tell you how amazing he's been through this process and helping me find my feet and stay above water. And then we brought in a goalkeeper coach, Ali Haniff, who has some really good experience in women's college soccer. And then one of my friends that I played with in Minnesota, Mark Birch, who 15-year MLS veteran and been working in Colorado, and again, amazing experiences that he's going to be able to share with our players.
Do you have any? There's always pressure coaching in the SEC, but do you have like expectations how long it takes to get to your brand? Like, or do you even think about that?
Yeah, I'm not trying to put time frames on anything because I feel like as if it kind of takes what it takes. And obviously, I understand this athletic department, this place, like you're expected to win here, right? So, but we're going to go about the process in the right way and try to do things the right way. So that starts with every day. Like I talked about, showing up to training and creating really good habits that are followed every single day, that when we step on the field, things can become pretty straightforward. So I hope quickly, right? But don't want to say, this time period when, it's going to take kind of time to get there.
But this is the kind of program and community that you can win, right? That you've got everything you want.
Yeah, I think I felt very quickly, even in the first couple Zoom calls I had with Trev and Dan and a few people in the athletic department. The support is amazing here, and obviously Texas has got a lot of really good players, and so I think there's all the pieces here, and it's been done right. Like G was very successful here for a very long time, so just want to continue that success and obviously bring my ideas and help these kids.
As you know, my family's in the soccer community. We always hear that Texas, California, and Florida are like, that's the hotbed. So how is Texas from a recruiting standpoint in your eyes?
Strong, really strong. There's a lot of really good players coming out of Texas. Like you mentioned, California, we got quite a few kids from California as well, and I think that's been kind of, especially recently, a lot of California kids coming in here. So we're going to try to bring in the best players from Texas, and obviously we're going to continue to try to recruit from California, but kind of regardless of where players are from, we just want good players. We want players that want to be pros and players that want to come into this environment and play high-level football.
Well, I look forward to getting to know you better and having you here on the show during the fall. I appreciate you, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bobby Shuttleworth here on TexAgs Live. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with one final segment here on the program and get you set up for Thursday's show. It's TexAgs Live. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Auto Insurance Studio. So our first interview here with Bobby Shuttleworth. Appreciate his time as he puts his program together. Looking forward to that. He even said, we got pretty much the same roster, brought in a couple people, but we'll see how the new program looks. We'll be catching up with him throughout the season. By the way, if you are not a premium subscriber, you're not smart. I don't mean that rudely. I'm just being honest. You want to get things beforehand, you should go visit texags.com/subscribe to sign up. On there, we have our transfer portal tracker. Portal window's open for a couple more days. It closes on the 16th. Ronnie and the entire recruiting team has done a wonderful job on that. They've got some stories on commits. So you've got the TJ Smith from Houston Christian. You got CJ Mims on there as well. Luke Evangelist did post his 5 thoughts from A&M's loss yesterday in double overtime to Tennessee. Kay Nagley talks with Kendall Stowers about the volleyball national title run. And Maya Perez, KK Dement named to the D1 Top 100 list. And later today, we're going to have stories from Olin. We'll have a little Luchenbach show a little bit later on today with Billy and with Gabe. And, of course, be on the lookout for that at noon. We go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center Schoonover. Tell me something good.
What's happening? So I was going through Rex when you were interviewing, and I saw Brett McMurphy from On3 tweeted something out really interesting. With Indiana as an 8.5-point favorite versus Miami, Hurricanes bidding to be the third largest underdog in the last 27 years to win the BCS College Football Playoff title game. Favorites have won and covered the last 6 national title games. So what a story that would be.
That would be, and I know it would make you feel better being an Aggie fan because you need to feel better about the way the season ended a few weeks ago.
You're right. It would.
By the way, I understand your notion. I do. I'm not saying you're wrong. There would be a little bit of that. But I'm still going to be upset about the way it ended, right? And it's so funny perspective to me on this matters because had they gotten Tulane or James Madison, even though we all know they would have mopped the floor with it, and let's just say they lost the next game, it would have just felt better. Right? Because when your last 8 quarters are your worst 8 quarters, it leaves a lasting. And by the way, the teams that they take, Texas was starting to
trending
upwards. Miami, absolutely trending upwards. Unfortunately, A&M offensively trending downwards. And you can almost look back at the South Carolina game, which was an incredible second half. And when you talk about a game, it's 4 quarters. It counts just the same. But there were little signs in that game early on. When they sped up the offense, things got a little bit better. But that's last year. I'm on to this year. I'm not last year Nuño. I'm next year Nuño.
New year, new Nuño.
Yeah, that's right. What else do you have for us?
So Jim and Temple, going back to basketball, he said, we know A&M got out-rebounded by a mile by their Giants, but the definition of a free throw is a 15-foot unguarded straightaway shot. If we just make one more of them, our Ags win without it being a one-possession game, let alone overtime.
Yeah, but they're hard for a reason. I mean, it's kind of like kicking. Thank you, David Olana, for coming. But, there's a reason college basketball teams, the good ones are in the 70% range. They are hard. I want this team to figure it out at the end of games. I'll give Buzz Williams some credit on this. His teams struggled often on free throws. There was a season, might have been 22 or 20, maybe it was 23, where they were so bad, and then they focused on it and they got better. Right now, it's just in their heads. And they are a much better free throw shooting team than they were not only last night, but what they've been in crunch time. So just give it time; it'll be fine. I feel very good about the direction of the program. I feel great about Bucky. I feel better about Bucky than I did 6 months ago, and I felt really whenever they hired him. I felt really good about him at that time. I feel even better. And last night, the moral victory part of it is this team is better than I thought. This team played yesterday like a team that was like the better team. They didn't finish. I know it. And I'm not going to celebrate the not finishing part. But in my eyes, they look like a better basketball team than I expected. And even as close as last night. Now, what do they do the rest of the way? Can that be a moment in time where
keep taking strides?
Yeah, keep taking strides. Look, they're going to stumble. I think, as Coach Schuberth said, if they can win 8 games, that would feel like a real successful year. We all have just gotten used to making the tournament. So we want it. And we feel like it's possible. At 3-1, it's certainly still possible. They got to take care of business. What else?
So switching over to baseball, how did you feel about like the schedule wise and all the rankings, preseason rankings coming out from D1 baseball and the opponents we play? Like, how did you feel about that? What are your thoughts on?
I got the schedule right there, David.
You got it. Thank you very much.
I made it today, so what a pull, Alex Schoonover.
You're
Good
welcome.
job.
Yeah.
Put it this way: they're going to get an opportunity to prove who they are pretty early in that schedule, right?
Well, this is February and March, right? They don't get into SEC play till March, but once you get into April and May, that's when the gauntlet
but the
really starts.
UCLA game early on, though, that certainly catches your attention early. Look, I think this team played way better baseball last year outside of one series at the end of the year, right? Like they turned it on. The Missouri series kind of changed the way we looked at the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they were on their way. I think once Coach Early had his bearings, we saw a different team. I'm hoping that carries over to this year and they make a run. That's what I'm hoping. All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Live here on a Wednesday. Tomorrow on the program, Stephen McGee, Logan Lee, JDP. Who's JDP? JD Piquel. And we're going to have the fan show, guys. All that and more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. We'll see you mañana.